Hi everyone, it's Victor speaking, and today we are going to be speaking about the new moon in Virgo. But before we do that, let's just do the compulsory runs. So first of all, if you like the video, please make sure you press like and subscribe to the channel as well. I would actually be very honored. And in this channel, I'm trying to give you free educational videos as well as a weekly forecast for those who want to lead their life by the help of astrology. And also, if you would like to learn from me, I'm going to be having my next webinar. It's going to be about 12 to 15 hour long, broken into 3 parts about solar return chart with very advanced techniques as well. But it's also suitable for beginners as well. So let's have a look at how this new moon in Virgo looks like. So it's going to be happening actually on the 6th or the 7th of September, depending on where you are. Now, I erected the chart on Greenwich time, and then I received the 25-degree Cancer rising sign. And actually, what also noticed in that chart is that Mars is on 24 degree of Virgo, exactly sextile in the ascendant as well. Now, what happens here is that actually the new moon is going to be happening on 14 degree of Virgo, so very much in the middle of the sign. And Virgo is all about, I mean, this 14 degrees, first of all, on Capricorn decan, because that's the second element of the Earth from Virgo perspective. So something to do with the structure, something to do with working hard, and the professional manners are going to be in the center of our attention for with this new moon. And also it falls into the Aquarian dwad as well. Now, I made a video about dwads and decans, so if you are interested in that, please check it out on my YouTube channel, because it's gonna give you a very deep understanding of how to read your natal chart in a more depth. Now, by the way, there is plenty of aspects going on this day as well. So not just the full moon, new moon in the sign of Virgo, but we've got 3 another very major aspects, trines especially going on as well. So we have got a very intense day. Now, the new moon actually in Virgo is receiving a trine from Uranus. And with Uranus, we always need to be expecting something unexpected, but it gives us the opportunity to start something fresh or make some type of breakthroughs. Now, because Virgo is a working class energy, so it can really bring some breakthroughs when it comes to your work environment. But also, if you are, for instance, looking for a job, this Uranus can give you actually a sudden opportunity to start something new. But also, this Uranus trine the new moon energy can be about breaking old habits or actually starting new habits. So if you are planning to go to the gym because you want to gain muscles or you want to lose weight, actually the Uranus can give you kind of an energy boost there, or a sudden desire to make rapid changes. But what you should be paying attention to is that, remembering, let's say I want to lose weight, it's not going to happen from one day to another. So that's the reason why you receive kind of that Capricorn decan as well, which is all about learning about patience. So building new routines and working with something material or even electronic or internet related opportunities can be quite it's actually quite supported with these energies. Now, whenever Uranus is involved with one of the new moons or even full moons, it definitely talks about a call to action. Because it's in earth signs, so it's all about how I manage my resources, how I manage my body, what actually triggers my well-being, how much food I eat, or how do I look at my financial situations. And it is kind of a need to organize those area of life for yourself, to become efficient about your time. Remember, it's a Capricorn decan, and also the new moon falls into Virgo, so both of them are extremely efficient. And Uranus, actually, what it can do is that it gives you that sudden boost to make decisions very quickly. So actually, it can lead to even losses. Because it's kind of like a lightning bolt. It comes suddenly, and then I don't know what to do. So shall I jump in? Shall I not jump into it? So the Capricorn Decan tells you to step back a little bit, analyze the situation. The analytical mind is very much coming from the Virgo quality of this new moon. Now, also, you might want to be looking at where the Virgo cusp is in your chart. So for instance, in my case, it's going to be the 7th house. So it does give an opportunity to be specific about something. Specific being specific about, for instance, why the relationships in your life haven't worked out. So it's kind of like making a little bit of a research about it, and then eventually you can make improvement. But this improvement is going to be a slow one because of the Capricorn Decan. So there is no point in rushing things, because actually, like, it's kind of like the tower you build from cards, right? So if you are not patient enough, you are not careful, actually it can easily collapse. So this is exactly what this new moon is kind of reminding you of. Now, Virgo full moon likes getting their hands dirty. So it's kind of like dipping into every single pie you receive, or you have got access to, especially with that Uranian flavor to it. But this new moon kind of reminds you to be functional about the topic you actually have opportunity to dive into. As I mentioned, it can be in the technological world because of the Uranus trine, or the Aquarius dwad as well. But also it could be something, food industry, or something to do with your lifestyle overall. Now, Uranus usually asks you to do things in a different way. So we have been, hit by Uranus for almost more than a year, basically. It was squaring Saturn, and it was just causing ups and downs in our life. This time around, this Uranus gives us an opportunity to lead to some type of proficiency in our life. But we need to stay structured, we need to be organized, and we need to be looking at the opportunities in an optimistic manner as well. Now, this new moon is ruled by Mercury, which is in the sign of Libra. I made a video about it recently, so check that out. It might give you a little bit more indication of what to do, watch out while Mercury is going to be in the sign of Libra. But remember, Libra is all about relationships. So this new moon brings in the maintenance. It gives us a reminder that we need to maintain our relationship with others. We need to be maintaining how we connect with people. And maybe it's also an idea that we don't need to be perfect in a relationship all the time. Because we can have blips, we can make mistakes, but how we are going to be recovering from that is the most important part. So because Mercury is in the sign of Libra, it kind of brings you the need to balance something out, maybe balancing out your relationship with your work, and how am I going to juggle between those two. So this new moon very much calls you to pay attention to your relationship department as well as your work situations as well. So as I mentioned, this new moon receives a lovely trine from Uranus. Now, and it's always very, very tight. It's only 1 second away. So it could bring very positive changes, because the trine is a 120-degree aspect, meaning that it connects to the two same elements. So in this case, Taurus and Virgo, which are both actually earth signs. So earth is all about tangible results. It's all about financials and stability. So that Uranus can give us the opportunity to create stability in our life, but at the same time, bringing excitement and still giving us the possibility of having freedom in our life also. This new moon is all about trying something new, being outside of the box or coming out of the box. So doing something which is out of your normal routine, basically. So anything to do with new adventures, or you might want to be doing an application, for instance. Actually, you have got the green light for it. It's very much about getting out of your comfort zone, kind of like breaking away from your work routines as well a little bit, and maybe creating those new habits like, yeah, we are going to be going to a Thai restaurant, for instance, every Friday with my loved ones, because we want to be having a stronger connection. So leaving your comfort zone and then reconnecting with your social circle might be actually a reminder with this new moon. I would also say that this harmonious aspect with Uranus can really enhance your intuition as well. It can bring you brilliant ideas, and it can bring you actually flashes of sudden insight as well in your life. So it might be actually a moment where, you know, the lightning bolt is actually hitting your head, and then all of a sudden something pops out of it. So it's an element of a self-discovery, self-awareness, some type of creative breakthroughs, which is actually included in this new moon. Now, typically, I think if we want to be looking at the world scale, some of the industries will be more affected, such as the catering, healthcare, any type of industries where there is some type of distribution going on, maybe distribution of food, or even manufacturing, or anything to do with the physical support of others who might be having, for instance, disabilities. All these type of fields are going to be impacted, and probably they are going to be having an element of a positive change. Maybe they will be able to hire more people. Maybe they are going to be able to provide pay rise or something positive, rapid changes. Maybe it's just a regulation which is going to come in, but they should be expecting something positive. Now, this new moon is definitely an invitation for you to think about how you can run your life in a smoother way. So how to live a healthier lifestyle. So is it going to be because I'm going to cut back on smoking, or is it I'm going to be cutting back on calories, or I'm just going to go for a checkup with my GP because I want to be looking at my blood work and all those type of things. But it's also a brilliant energy to do some type of home decluttering. So Virgo loves organizing. It's a controlling, perfectionist sign. So doing kind of a spring clean is very advisable with a new moon in the sign of Virgo. But this Uranus might tell you that, you know what, you can do it in a technological way. So you can actually sell some of your products off, which you don't need anymore. Put it on eBay or whatever, Amazon or whatever type of channels you use, and then actually you can make some money out of it. Uranus in the sign of Taurus. So there is an element of a financial consideration going on here as well. Remember that this new moon shifted into the sign of Virgo now, but previously it was in the sign of Leo. So Virgo is the second sign from Leo. So it does talk about making money through fun activities. So think about this new moon as tapping into a creative form, self-expression, a form of self-expression of yours, and then try to convert that into something more practical. So you might be noticing that your workplace is going to be using more technological advancements or innovations, or there's going to be a new system introduced. Maybe you work in the payroll company, and of course it's going to cause some type of chaos at the beginning, uncertainty about how to use, but it's very much about stepping back, looking at the process, and then how we can make the process easier. So it's looking at things with a fresh perspective, basically. Because Uranus is actually in the second sign, Taurus, from Aries, so it would really talk about using your own resources as well. So it might be an invitation to believe that you've got the talent. Also, on a world scale, it's very possible that this new moon is gonna regulate something around recycling of packages, or looking at the wastage of our lives. So waste control. Actually, it could talk about pest control as well. So maybe catering outlets should be expecting more EHO visits, for instance, or ecolab visits, or whatever you use and you call them. So definitely, this is a very significant one. Now, as I mentioned, there are plenty of other aspects involved as well, which I'm going to be making separate videos about. For instance, there is this Pluto and Mars exact trine going on as well. So it definitely gives us the passion and the desire to start a new project, but I will be making a separate video about that. However, what I really wanted to speak about in this video though, and I don't think we have ever spoken about this, but this new moon actually has got an exact opposition to an asteroid called Nessus. So I wanted to actually give you a little bit of an idea of what Nessus represents in your natal chart, as well as now in transits. Just like always, in order for us to understand an asteroid, we need to know a little bit about their mythological background as well, because that gives us the idea of what it might mean. So actually, Nessus was an evil man who raped someone called Deianira, and she was the lover of Hercules. So this guy had a very strong desire to have Deianira, and he wasn't able to control his senses. So what he did was he actually manipulated her, but then he got attacked by Hercules. So, and then he said to her to put his bloody clothes on Hercules so that he could love Deianira eternally. And when she placed actually these clothes on Hercules, it led to his death. So Nessus in your birth chart signifies, first of all, some type of endless desire. It could talk about obsession, when you really want to have everything at any cost, basically. But also it could talk about relationship matters as well. So it's one of the sexual asteroids, to be frank, and then it could really talk about sexual desire, very amplified sexual cravings altogether. But a very prominent Nessus in the natal chart can also indicate rape and sexual abuse as well. So it's kind of like a weak point in your chart, let's put it that way. It could bring violent traumas, which is around suicide or abuse, rape, or any type of violent acts, really. So, but it also can represent something in your family unconscious as well. So it doesn't necessarily need to happen to you. It might have happened to someone in your family, and then somehow it got stuck in your subconscious. So it's kind of like an uncontrollable lust. So unfortunately, this new moon, having this opposition to Nessus, could actually bring in things like protest at the workplaces because we want to get pay rise, for instance, or we want a lot better working conditions. So we want a comfortable chair, for instance, because I work in an office and I always go home with backache. Or we actually want to have, let's say, a membership to the gym. So it could really talk about some of the perks a job should be offering, or it could be talking about things which actually the employees don't receive. Now, I would like also to mention that, you know, this Nessus is very much about the victim and the predator type of situation. So there is an element of the desire, and there is an element of a disappointment with that as well, once we don't necessarily get it. So because Virgo and Pisces axis very much talk about medical industries. So it could be a violent push, for instance, to get vaccination. It might become mandatory. I don't necessarily like talking about the vaccine situation anymore because I know some of you just attack all the time and, you know, because I am biased or whatever you guys usually come up with. It's absolutely not true, by the way, but, you know, I feel like my duty here is, if I do an astrological video, to kind of try to look at, you know, every single aspect of that trigger so that you have got a better understanding and then you can prepare yourself. Because obviously these moments, you will experience them in a different way according to your subconscious level, okay? So we can actually expect some, like the people can feel that they are getting abused at work. And the question is, because it's an opposition, so what's going to be my response to it? And with the Uranus trine, even though it's a trine, but it's very possible that people want to be standing up as well. So I would say that also because the Virgo and Pisces axis is very much about the service industry. So something to do with the catering. I've listed a couple of those a little bit earlier. So this could show actually that, let's say, some of the doors need to be shut because people don't want to work. Or it could show actually that the workforce is struggling to hire people because maybe they are getting low wages and it's getting too much for people and so forth. So Nessus is to be frank, it's very hard to mention something good about Nessus. By the way, if you don't know, his code is 7T66. If you want to be looking up where Nessus is in your natal chart, but also I think it comes up on the asteroid list as well, because this is one of the most important one. Now, I would like also to point out, you know, when we're talking about abuse, and he is in charge of abuse at the end of the day, there is going to be 3 types of abuse here, which we need to mention, right? So one of the abuse, I mean, especially those people who were abused previously. So either they're going to be treating others similarly to how their abuser treated them, or actually you might be surrounding yourself with people who treat you exactly the way how the abuser did to you, or you're gonna treat others just like your abuser did to you. So these are probably the 3 possible ways of this cycle of abuse. And this new moon is actually an invitation to have a realization which category you might fall into. Okay, so am I playing the victim and then I'm going to be treating others exactly the same way? Or am I going to surround myself with all these type of people who are just crying into my ear, or they are treating me exactly the same way? Or are you treating people in a different way because you actually gain some type of power? And remember that the ruler of this new moon, Mercury, being in the sign of Libra, it does bring in how I connect with others. So, you know, I'm not suggesting that you should be picking 1, 2, or 3 when it comes to, you know, which category you fall into. But kind of in a nutshell, you do need to be able to realize this time around that you might have got the tendency to fall into one of these categories as well. So if Nessus is prominent in your chart, if it has got a conjunction, opposition, or even a square to any of your personal planets or angles. Now, I would say if it has got, let's say, a conjunction is going to be the most important to the ruler of your rising sign, or the rising sign itself, or midheaven, sun and the moon, then somehow there is definitely something to face. And remember that, as I mentioned, it's not necessarily something you have had to go through, because this trauma might be integrated in your family karma. Because actually it's a cantor, it's an asteroid. So it does talk about something which might be originated from somewhere way, you know, back in the days. Okay, so somewhere in your family lineage, basically. Now, a little bit on the technical side, I mean, Nessus is actually, it was a strange bird. So, or if we translate it, actually, it is translated into a tiny bird or a strange bird. It is classified as one of the major asteroids, or a baby bird. It's also translated like that. And so how interesting that we've got this Uranus trine to this new moon, because a baby bird at one point needs to learn how to fly away, right? How to leave the family nest behind. So I do believe that this new moon is actually an invitation for you to leave also something behind, even though there is no scorpionic themes here, but I kind of get this feeling of like a phoenix bird syndrome. So burning something down to the ground and then actually flying off. And I would like to mention that Nessus actually has got a 123-year orbit, and it orbits between Saturn and Pluto, but it kind of never gets close to any of them. So Saturn is your limitation and Pluto is actually seeing the light, the complete transformation of yours. So this means to me that, yes, this new moon is an invitation to start something fresh, which has been burning you for a very, very long time. Okay, so on a global level, Nessus actually can indicate mass exterminations as well, and how the collective is actually responding to this trauma. So unfortunately, it's very possible that we're going to have some type of traumatic experiences. Now, I didn't look at the world map where this new moon is going to be taking place. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then don't worry about it. If you know, then you just need to go on the astro map and then looking at where this new moon conjunction, what line it triggers on the map. And then those countries will be the most affected by this. Yes, so pretty much I think we covered everything what we need to know about Nessus as well. So this new moon brings in plenty of healing. I do believe that the medical fields are going to be very strongly affected, and I feel like maybe the workers are going to be feeling abused in a sense. So thank you everyone, and see you very shortly with another video. Have a blessed day. Bye bye.